Whew, I don't know if I can get the words out right for this one today. But first of all, let me just say it's like 80 degrees and humid. And I just had to tell my 4-year-old to take knee-high wool socks off because that's how crazy kids are. Okay, so this is an insane story. At least for me, anyway. I've been doing a lot of feng shui work. If you've been following me at all, you know that. And although it's about the placement of objects, it's about so much more, and I hope that this story can convey that. Since I started, Jen Heilman, who's been helping me with feng shui, we've been uncovering this story that I have about the exterior look, and she's been really trying to get me to work on the front of my house. My house is really old, and it needs a complete siding job. It's really beautiful on the inside, but the outside is a mess. And yesterday or Friday, we were standing in front of my house. Like, I just could not seem to. It was like there was a wall in front of me, between me and what she wanted me to do, and I just couldn't break through it. I couldn't see it. So we're standing in front of the house, talking about some options of just little things to try and shift the energy. Get a new mailbox, get some plants, cut down a lilac bush that was sort of taking up space. And I just was so resistant. It was frustrating me that I couldn't break through. And then she broke the ice for me. Sometimes we need someone else to break the ice for us. So the next day, she dropped 2 gorgeous plants in front of my house. Because I actually went to the plant store 3 to 4 times and could not decide what to buy. That's how blocked I was about embellishing the front of the house. And I had said to her when we were standing in front of it, I just don't want to cover up the ugly. This is big. And so I knew that was important, but I didn't really know why. So that was my statement. I just don't want to cover up the ugly. And as in, I don't want to try and make it look pretty if it's not what we really need to do is reside and refinish the whole house, not just put pretty flowers in front of it. I don't want to cover up the ugly. And so Jen broke the ice by dropping some gorgeous plants in front of my house. And I woke up this morning. She did that yesterday in the middle of the rain. I woke up this morning and it was like something had been shattered in a really good way. And I got out there and I cut down the lilac bush, and it was kind of hard. And I was like, I'm so gonna do this. Cut it down, cut all the flowers, raked in front of the house. And then I took, my daughter was working with nail polish. So I took gold nail polish and I just painted the word mail and the little lines on the mailbox. I will replace the mailbox completely, but I was like, I'll just put some gold sparkle on it to, at least make people smile, right? Who cares if it's ugly? I'll make people smile. Well, hear that? Cover up the ugly. So she broke the ice for me, and as I was doing that silly thing with the nail polish, I realized how deep this story was in me, and that I had just had some pictures taken. And I was really uncomfortable with the way they came out because I have so many body image issues myself. And I was wishing that I had a stylist. I was wishing that I had someone to do my makeup. I was wishing that I had someone to do my hair. And this story, I have a lot of body image issues about the way I look. And this story of not wanting to cover up the ugly was running through so many places in my life. And it was the feng shui that allowed me to see all of this. And I don't even know if it's making sense for you or if it's clicking with some story that you have. But when we get in there, when we move our physical stuff, So here's the other thing. The lilac bush that I cut down was very tall. It was a little scraggly, but we are at peak lilac bloom right now. And so I was cutting down these flowers, and it was really a little hard for me because I'm cutting down this beautiful thing. Even though it doesn't belong here, I'm cutting down this beautiful thing. And it was just such a great analogy of sometimes we don't want to move things out of the way because they're beautiful, but they're still in the way. And as soon as it was completely down, like I cut that last branch, just felt like so much weight was lifted. And there was this space in front of my house that was filled with something beautiful, but that something beautiful was in the way. And sometimes something beautiful is in the way of where we want to go, and it's really hard to move it. But the act of moving it opens up so much space. And so I cut all the flowers off of the now destroyed branch, and I put them in a vase, and I put them in the front of my house, and on the entry table when I walk into my house. So I made sure that every single bloom on that bush, we would be able to enjoy. And it was so beautiful, and it smells amazing, and I love lilacs, but it was in the way, and I had to move it, and I didn't want to move it because it was beautiful, and I didn't want to put flowers in front of the house or put sparkles on the mailbox because they were ugly, and why would I make something ugly pretty? And so many stories, and just breaking through feels so good. Every time I see my old, this is the mailbox that we bought on the house. The mailbox is probably 30 years old. It's it's weathered and crazy, but now it makes me smile because it has gold sparkles on it. And again, the siding on the house even is I don't even know how many decades old, but now I smile because I have space in front of my house for new things to come in. And Jen broke the ice for me really by putting those flowers in front of my house. I can't even tell you, it was such a game changer. And I needed someone else to do it. I just needed someone else to do it. Like I said, I went to the plant store so many times and I couldn't break that ice. And I had told her in our session together, I feel like there's this really thin layer and I just need to break it and everything's going to change. And I couldn't seem to do that on my own. And this is the part where we're herd animals and we need each other. And I just freaking needed Jen to break the ice for me on this front of the house situation. And I do feel like even if things don't change drastically in terms of the front of my house and whether or not we tear it all apart and reside it right away, it feels better. It just feels good. And that's because she took that first move, and I really needed her. Sometimes we really need a friend or a partner or a child or a parent to take that first step for us, and then we're ready to keep going. So there's so many lessons in all of these thoughts. Shoot me a message. Well, how did this relate to your life? How did this, are there things in your life that you need to move out of the way? Are there places where you need to just cover up that ugly with some really beautiful gold sparkles and then start smiling again? Yeah, let me know. I'm curious. It was a really fun morning over here. So I'm glad I have this platform to share with you. Until the next time.